This huge piece of furniture needs a decapé, but why? Because we want to bring out a bit of green and a bit of brown from this beautiful shade we've created. If I were a mean person, I'd make the girls use a sanding paper by hand today. We'll do it in a few spots where it's better not to use the sander or where the sander can't reach deeply, but on large surfaces, my sander really makes my work much easier. Now, I have a very good sander, a random orbital one, because it both rotates and vibrates. You can also do it with another sander, as long as it has a very soft pad that allows you not to scratch the furniture. And buy sanders that have spare parts available. Makita always has them. As far as I'm concerned, this is a top-of-the-range model for sounding, but there are also cheaper sanders from Makita that are very good. With the usual €100, you can take one in. A quality sander that lasts 20 years, with a very soft pad that allows you to fix it every time, when it's necessary, in case you happen to break it. It's very light because the battery's separate, so when I hold it in my hand for jobs like this, it doesn't feel heavy, and I can even work on the ceiling without any effort. Another thing is that it has gears, so you can lower or increase the speed. This way it goes faster or slower, so it sounds more or less depending on what you need. I've connected it to my vacuum cleaner so we won't make any dust, which is really important. So now have a look at the result. Let's go and put the handles back on. Of course, we're using the old handles we already had. I've stripped them because they were in a really bad state, all greenish and flaking. I'm using a very precise pair of tweezers, a small golden nail, and off I go. If you've got a vintage golden screw, even better. One, two, and then three. And four. You might be wondering why we've put the handles on before adding the rest, so before we apply the protection. It's simply because we want to see if we like the handle in context. The most important thing about this piece of furniture is that the wallpaper still needs to be added. And it could be that the paper or the handle is too much. By putting them on now, we can see, and if we wanted to, we could still change our minds. You could paint the handle the same colour as the furniture, give it a quick sand, and it would still be a proper handle, not necessarily original like it was back in the day. So now we'll put them all on, add the wallpaper, and see if we like it. Today, we're going to show you how to use a new type of glue. It's quite special in the sense that it's still a ready mix glue, still a powdered glue, but it's really versatile. Because with this single product, you can glue all types of wallpaper onto any surface you like. So you don't need separate glues for heavy wallpaper, light wallpaper, paper, vinyl, or anything else. Why is that? Because here on this handy chart you can see, you've got the different dilutions according to the weight and what you need to do. Everything is specified. So vinyl, and washable wallpapers, it's all clearly laid out. It's an Italian-made glue, very good quality. And the best thing about this glue is that it's ready in 5 minutes. And if you follow our instructions, it won't form lumps, much less than other glues on the market. So I'm not saying this is absolutely the only glue you should use. If you're happy with any of the others we sell, buy whichever you prefer. But this one really surprised me. I put a bit of water in first. More or less, depending on the type of paper I need to glue. Obviously, I don't make or mix too much glue. Why? Because I need to stick 3 panels in the little frames and 3 on the back of the furniture. No need to make up a whole bucket or dilute the entire pack, as upholsterers do when applying glue to walls. So, when papering furniture, large or small, but only on furniture, just make up a little at a time. Remember, if you have any left over, you can seal it properly in a jar and it will last for years. Don't bin it. Any leftovers can go in the jar, and after 6 months, just stir it and it will be perfect. The important thing is to use cold water and to add the glue gradually. This way you can see we're adding it little by little. You can see we're stirring it gently. Meanwhile, the lumps of glue that are sinking won't have time to clump together and form lumps. And like all other glues, when it starts to go cloudy, as it is now, be careful when adding more, because when it starts to go cloudy, it also means it's beginning to thicken. Now I keep stirring, I really wait for 5 minutes on the clock, and then I'll have my lovely gelatinous creamy glue, but with the density I need. This is the result after 5 minutes. There isn't a single lump. It's beautiful, transparent, creamy, perfect. With the freshly made glue, I start by putting a bit on the door panel, and then a bit on the paper as well, so it soaks in nicely. If it dries before you get a chance to put the paper on, make sure to apply another good layer. I don't want there to be too little of it, so I add another bit, a piece of paper, and turn it over. Do you see these marks on this piece of paper? That's because this paper has already been used and removed, and it's one of the few ways to save it. Today, it's really about putting it on a piece of furniture. We've cut it, sectioned it so that it enhances this piece of furniture, so that even the paper can have a second life. Let's see if we can manage it. A generous amount of glue on the entire back side. Let's wait for the paper to absorb the glue properly. This paper specifically is very thick, listen. It's more than 1 millimetre thick. So I've applied the glue, it's done its job, it's softened it. And now I can finally go ahead and remove this whole layer, which is what was on the wall it was taken from. So what will I do now? I'll remove this whole layer, which is obviously too thick and has, of course, dampened the paper. If certain stubborn sections refuse to come off easily, I can simply apply a bit more glue and wait. This way, I effectively preserve the underlying surface and can easily reuse it later on. You might be wondering if it's getting damaged on the other side. No, because this paper's really very thick, look. I remove it, all this part that's not right, and I reapply the glue. You can't do this step by just dampening the paper with plain water, because the spatula wouldn't slide and it wouldn't come off properly like this. I add another little drop of glue, and in the meantime I also reapply glue here so that the paper starts to absorb it. I take away absolutely everything that comes off. Put glue on the wallpaper, while the other girls are laying it inside the cabinet. everything with the Leggendaria wax. Oval brush, load it well, tap off the excess, and look at the amazing colour that comes out. Always remember that protected colour is beautiful. It becomes richer. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We finished off our wallpaper with an ivory coloured trim. This way, they look like real paintings. It's 8 to 20, but not in the morning. It's 8 to 20 in the evening. The Dells need to get home, so we'll leave the window cleaning and the photos for tomorrow. So that's everything finished for tonight. We put the doors back on the cabinet, and I'm really, really happy with this job. I'm incredibly proud of them. Come here, everyone. So, in the end, is the wallpaper too much? No, it's not too much. Go stand next to Emma, otherwise they can't see you. Go next to Emma, they can't see you. Can you see all of it? So it's the wallpaper too much? No. The wallpaper was salvaged because unfortunately it was taken down just a few days after it was put up. Such beautiful, such important wallpaper. It couldn't be wasted. So the girls realised that this project was truly important. They also realised that with a bit of brain power, you can have some fun now and then, peeling off and removing the backing of the wallpaper to make it smooth enough to use again. It works well here only because we wanted to give this piece of furniture a lived-in feel. We did a distressed finish, made it look more vintage. Otherwise, the wallpaper would have needed to be perfect to go well with the furniture if it had been completely smooth. Another thing, remember that when you put wallpaper inside furniture made of solid wood, they often have knots, they have some warping, so it can happen that it sticks less well and you might end up with a few bubbles. But obviously the structure and behaviour of the furniture can't be changed. That's just how it is. I'm also very proud we kept the old colour, which could never be called a magic paint colour, but it pays tribute to this fine gentleman's age. The little butterfly, it looks so good. We're delighted to finish in a single day. Not everyone could handle this big piece of furniture. You were very good. If it were just me and Emma, it would have taken 3 days, if we even managed it then. So try saving old furniture, but use a bit of cunning. If you have a piece with flaking paint like ours and an interior like this, don't expect perfection. It would mean sanding everything down, stripping all the paint and losing a whole day on just one job. By creating this play of colour, with the green peeking through beneath our shade, we've definitely achieved a patina that has resulted in a lovely finish. And the flaking's no longer a problem for many years, maybe in 100 years' time. Someone will do it and say, what a mishmash they've made. So, where can we find magic paint, Emma?
You can find it on the magicpaint.it website or from authorised retailers, which are always listed on the site, divided by region. Or, in the map, just write your town or city and you'll find all the nearby retailers.
Where can't we find it? Magic paint?
Not on Amazon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.